Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Hindsight, where we see bad situations that can be avoided by good reasoning. But sometimes a situation is unavoidable and self defense is needed to get you to safety.
Yeah, we're back. Hindsight.com. Yes, we've got a website now. HYNDESITE.com. Well, I shouldn't say we got a website now. We've got a easy to remember website name now. So come check us out. All the podcasts are there. The demonstrations are going to get put up soon. We're going to have fresh new content weekly. All that good stuff. All right, so the panel's here. You know, your host with the most, Sensei Buddha, and Mr. Suave, the co-host, you know, with the most stir. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, you came in hard. You came in hard in the paint right there. You came in the paint hard. Damn, I like it.
All right. So yeah, fellas, how you guys doing?
Feeling good.
Fantastic. Getting over the hump.
All right. So yeah, you know, Mr. Suave, you've been under the weather for a little bit.
Hey, that don't stop me from training. I did a mile when I had the fever, 4 miles on the bike when I had the chills, 5 miles on the bike when I had the chills. Just finished 5K today. Chills gone. Just gotta sweat that bad boy out. Keep grinding.
Okay. All right. It's good to hear. That's good to hear. So Buddha, you were fighting something too, right? A little bit of a cold. Think something's going around.
Yeah, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold, man. It's called dealing with people's nonsense. That's what we're getting into all of that, man. Just it's just amazing. But yeah, I did have a little bit of a cold, man. Little sniffles trying to get in. Always with the change of the season, it tries to get me. A little bit of the hawk trying to get up down on the brother. But I'm still here. We're going to grind this out as we always do, and give some good reflective and thinking advice going and moving forward.
All right. Okay. Well, let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about sexual assault that happened in Brooklyn, New York. Yep, uptown.
Oh Lord, another one. BK.
Yeah. BK gets it in. Yep. And of course, one of these days we'll probably do a podcast on our opinions on the roughest borough in New York City. You know, which borough is you think
from back in our day or currently? It just constantly switches.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll do both then. I don't know. Yeah, we could go through all that. Yeah.
I'm a little biased. I'm a Queens fan. I'm a little biased. You know, we got the Uptown Bronx dude. He a little biased.
Yeah.
You yourself, you kind of floated around. You a little biased.
Yeah.
Man, every place is rough as hell. When I was out in Long Island, Roosevelt was rough. Hempstead was
Wyandanch, Hempstead, yeah.
Man, Wyandanch, man, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And Brooklyn is rough. Manhattan got some very rough patches. I remember they had some brothers, I won't name the neighborhood. It was like 40, 30 of them just standing around the building doing the hustle game. And I'm like, how can anybody not walk up on you and not say, you be like, hey, man, what's all these guys standing around for? And then you're wondering why your thing is getting shut down and you're getting locked up. I'm like, at least, I'm just like, wow, like 30, 40 guys against the building on the corner. They all looking at each other, singling. I said, this is goofy, man. Just and you trying to, it's not like you waiting for Papa John's pizza delivery. There's 30 of them just looking around each other. I'm like, wow, and then when, of course, you're going through the neighborhood and you're meeting somebody in there, they want to converge on you like Voltron, like, yo, what's this? And I'm like, guys, you guys are all sitting ducks. If I was somebody and I had drone, I'm sorry, I hate to say it like that, but it's true. It's an eyesore. It's silly. It makes no sense. It's just ridiculous. But other than that, let's get into this story, which is a very serious incident here that moving forward, this is something for all of us to remember as we move forward in life, because this has even happened to me to an extent. So Beat physicist, take it away.
All right. So, yeah, Brooklyn, a 24-year-old woman alleges she was sexually assaulted by a man who was able to gain access to her unlocked apartment door at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, October 14th, 2017. The unknown suspect gained entry to the building near Halsey Street and Central Avenue. When the suspect entered the woman's apartment, he found her sleeping in her bed, and there the attack ensued. The woman fought him off, and the suspect fled. The woman was treated at Woodhull Hospital. Now, here's the thing. There's surveillance footage of the suspect that was released Tuesday, October 17th, 2017. The footage shows the suspect smoking a cigarette around the time of the attack. He's approximately 5'10" tall and weighs about 180 pounds. So, the authorities are asking, of course, if anybody has any information concerning this man, to call 1-800-577-TIPS. That's 1-800-577-8477. So, yeah, there we have it. The woman's apartment was unlocked. This guy just, runs in there and, assaulted her. Suave, what's good?
Lord. Well, as we like to start off every podcast, so because man, he went hard in the paint just with the early introductions. Love it. And we veered off a little bit about our areas, background, and now we're getting into it. So first I'd like to say, before I start getting people in their feelings and shit, our views on the hindsight, our views and our views alone, our opinions, our thoughts, our words, our mouth. That's just our views and what we feel, man. Sometimes it's fact, sometimes it's not. So don't get in your feelings. Stay out your feelings. And some ideas and concepts you might hear might get your ass whipped, might save your life. But either or, we're covered. So, don't say we got you out there whipping ass or getting your ass whipped. Let's get into it. So, I don't know where in New York you leave your apartment, your house, your door, your car open. That ain't some shit I ever did when I was up there for the 18 years I lived there. And every time I go back, I never leave that open. I'm sorry. I live in Florida. I visited South Carolina. I visited Indiana. I ain't visited Tennessee yet, soon coming. I visited Houston. I ain't never leave a goddamn door unlocked. That's just me mentality. I just don't trust people. I just can't do it. I can't. I understand you might be tired from working. Maybe you were hitting the bottle hard. Maybe who knows? Maybe you even listened to earlier podcasts, listened to Suave's and the cool advice, and went and spent $40 on a background check before you went to date somebody. And you forgot to lock your door. I don't know. Now, it's what happened is unfortunate, and I'm not trying to jump on the poor young lady, but I'm just saying, this door, as Sensei Buddha said when we was doing a pre-show, just pre-meeting, door open, door closed. When the door's open, you'll walk through or walk out the motherfucker. When the door's closed, you lock the bitch, and that's it. Hey, it's that simple. So, I'm really not trying to pick at the lady, but I'm just trying to enforce, you might not be by yourself. You might have the elderly. You might have a young child who can't defend themselves, can't scream out. You might have some people have your pets as your children. You might have some of them in the house that are worth money, and people might just come in there and try to take it. You really got to be mindful of your area, mindful of your surroundings. You in New York. This ain't Park Slope. I don't care if you're in Park Slope. You ain't Dumbo. You could be in Dumbo. I don't care. People still stealing shit. People still committing crimes, felonies, no matter where they are. Sometimes it's reported, sometimes it's not. Why do you think in the Jewish community in Jewish New York, they have their own Jewish police? Why? Because motherfuckers still committing crimes. Stop locking. Keep your doors locked, people. Please keep your doors locked. That's just my disclaimer right there. Like I said, this is how I feel. So get out your goddamn feelings. But, it's a negative and a positive in what happened in the situation. So, we try to look at the good light. So, if you you know, in a lot of our links, we talk about the videos and stuff. And as we start posting, we're gonna put links to these articles so you can actually follow along with us. There's one person who was listening to us recommended and it makes sense. So we're gonna start putting links so you can actually see these stories and maybe the videos we're talking about. So you got this Macklemore looking motherfucker on the video who I'm seeing. I don't know, it could be him. I'm just saying, it looks like the dude. We got Macklemore looking motherfucker, and he's walking by smoking a cigarette right before around the time the incident happened. So he goes, I don't know if he knew her. She said she didn't know him, but just because she didn't know him doesn't mean he didn't know her. He didn't see her. He wasn't tracking her. He didn't know somebody that knew her. Most rapes, 1 out of 5 females know the victim. And sometimes cases, 4 out of 5 victims who were raped knew the person who raped them. And it's that statistic is crazy. It's usually, I think, 85 to 90% of rapes is by someone who knows you or you might know of. So it's more intimate and crazy than people think. Shit, I was listening to Gabrielle Union the other day, and in her book, she herself was raped, and she's a star. So nobody is beyond this, and this is not okay anywhere. So the dude came in, an unlocked door. He said, "Oh man, I found an unlocked door." He starts rubbing his hands like, "All right, what I got here?" Oh man, he must have thought he was Goldilocks and ran into the house, Ben's house with porridge, because he just found a woman sleeping in bed. He said, "Damn, that's my porridge." And what he do? And like, brother, you ain't her man or whoever she's dealing with for you to just go and slide on it. So this motherfucker just went and slided on in and helped himself. And that's the messed up part about it. The good part about it is she wasn't complacent and she fought back. She fought back. Yes, she did get violated, but she fought back enough to where he know this wasn't an easy, I'm going to keep going till I'm done and then I'm going to leave. No, she fought back. And maybe she got some scratches in there. Maybe she punched him in the throat. Like we always say, eye gouges, hits to the groin. She probably didn't hit him in the groin because he was able to run away, or maybe not hard enough. But she fought enough. She had enough fight or flight instinct to defend herself once she realized she was being violated. Somebody in my house. You ain't supposed to be here. How'd you get in? She probably don't even realize she had the door unlocked because, like I said, I give her the benefit of the doubt. She could have been busy. We don't know. But she fought him off. And, now they're looking for the dude. So hopefully with the video, along with maybe some DNA evidence, they can find this rat bastard. So it's just crazy, man. These rape things are just getting out of hand. I mean, yo, you got girls on Snapchat. If you give $300, they'll come out and meet you. You got girls on Backpage. You give them $5, they'll come out and meet you. Or you could just do what normal people do and say, "Hey, I think you look pretty. Let's go out." If you want to be more forward, you could just say, "Hey, you want to fuck?" You might get a yes. I mean, you don't gotta go to these extremes of violating someone to a point where they will be mentally scarred for life. And what if they're dealing with someone now? That person, if they're not strong enough, they won't be able to stay with that person to deal with them while they go through that emotional torment. So this shit is crazy. This shit is serious. Hopefully they do find this Macklemore rat bastard looking like. Please lock your doors. Please keep your doors locked. And like I said, I feel so strongly about it. She was like I said, she was able to fight them all, and she did make a stand. I don't know what, maybe she prior trained. No, I think if she might have had some self-defense training. If she was trained even to the next level, she probably would have kept him there for the authorities to catch him, because she probably would have broke her arm, grabbed a leg, put him in a headlock so he could choke him out, and he probably would have been there like, "Hey, yeah, this is a rat bastard who came in, broke in my house, and raped me, and he's waiting for you for pickup. Bag him and tag him. Sensei Buddha, all you, brother."
Most excellent. Thank you for that commentary, Beat Physicist and Mr. Suave. Mr. Suave, again, very excellent point. I personally believe that he may have stalked this woman, because you're going to come into an apartment. You got to, he may have seen her and may have assessed that she lived alone. But also in the article, it talked about how he gained access into the building. Um, it would appear that he was able to either jig the lock or manipulate something. It doesn't say if there was another person that was coming out of the building and he was able to gain access that way or coming into the building. But then for him to go up there and do what he did. Now, as we already know, and Mr. Suave laid out a firm foundation of it, in hindsight, lock those doors, lock all those points of access and entry. And if you remember from one of our earlier podcasts, we had a situation where it was a woman in Florida. She was sending texts to her man, well, an ex-lover of hers, and then she was able to come to the man's house, gain access, and then just went straight to the bedroom and started attacking his girlfriend right there in the bed. So again, this is sadly another situation where you got to lock up all access points. And if you're going to have somebody who's an ex-boyfriend, friend, or lover, and you have fallen upon hard times or out of good friendship with them, you got to change your locks. You got to change the cylinders. You got to reassess all the access points so that these people don't do something vengeful to you, break into your house, and some goons in there to rob your stuff, whatever the case may be. Now, this case is very close to me because on two different occasions, this happened to me where I forgot to lock my door. What had happened was I was in my...
What?
Yes.
You were one of those people I just talked about? Oh, Lord.
Yes. Mr. Suave, you got me dead to rights.
Damn it.
You got me dead to rights. Send the OG of the skulls and all that other stuff in the
Tisk.
Big,
Hey,
yes.
like I said, we don't know what was going on those days, so we all make mistakes.
Well, here's the thing. I was in a first floor apartment, and I had my headphones on, and I was working out with my sticks, doing my stick stuff. And what happened was my door just popped open. I'd been facing in that direction. And when I sprang forward, he saw the stick in my hand. He ran out. Now, it may have possibly been a robbery attempt, because if you know you're supposed to be in this place and you're looking for somebody, he would have probably, stepped out and said, "Hey, hold on, friend. I'm looking for somebody." And I thought, hey, by coming in here, everything was cool. But he didn't even do that. He ran down the block. So then, of course, safe to say for that one day, I locked the door. The second time it happened was when I had two clients. They came over to train, and they were two lady clients. And they themselves, of course, were black belts. So what happened was I was explaining a concept to them. We were working the weapons technique. They were moving phenomenally. But a gentleman was walking by, and he just burst open into the door. And he said, "Well, I heard all these sounds, and I heard the conversation, and I'm kind of nosy. I just want to see what's going on." And I just went on over and I said, "Hey, man, I understand what you're saying." And, I played it off. I said, "I'm just in a private session right now. Let me just close the door." And I have good locks. I locked, of course, the knob lock, and then I have a nice, excellent, a multi-lock. So I locked on that multi-lock. And then from that point on again, I never, ever had that problem. I have a thing, open the door, lock door. And that's how I just approach it every time. So I lock all of the locks. And along with locking all of your locks, remember, people, to always reassess your apartment. You might have somebody, they may have broken in unbeknownst to you. They may have gained access. You should always do a walkthrough of your apartment. Remember, if you get most comfortable, that is when you can get attacked. As far as self-defense goes, since the situation happened where the lady had forgotten to lock her door, she more than performed admirably. This is not even going to be pointing a finger of blame. She got the guy off of her, and she got checked out. I hope that everything with her and her health is in order, and that she will be well. But this is where you got to take your self-defense. You got to practice fighting actually from off your bed. You got to practice fighting from off your toilet. You got to practice fighting from when you're in the shower. You could be taking the shower and a knucklehead comes up into your spot. And you got to fight them while you're in the shower. You got to fight them when you're on the toilet. Yes, you can wake up and have a clown standing over you. And this is when you got to take your own personal self-defense precautions and take it to another level for yourself. You may have to have certain things laid around your house hidden so that you can go ahead and reach it So you can go ahead and grab it. And you should also know how to walk in your house as silently as possible. You should know how to negotiate the coffee tables in your house, chairs around your house, because if something happens, you got to fight. You may not have the time to turn on the lights. So knowing your environment, you can redirect your assailant or attacker into the wall, smash their head into that coffee table, make them go ahead and slam and break their foot against that real hard dinner table, anything. And you need to have things stashed around your house that where you know how to get to them so you can defend yourself. Whatever it is you choose to defend yourself in your own home, I understand. You can talk all this stuff about legality and things like that. And I hear you because I'm about obeying the law too. But when you're talking about defending your life and it's an unprovoked attack and it's a home invasion, all bets are off. All rules are rescinded. You can't judge somebody for defending themselves when this man was able to gain access to the building. And to me, did he break a lock? Did he jiggy a lock? Did something happen? Where, they need probably more security surveillance cameras in this building. And once again, too, got to have concerned neighbors, not nosy neighbors, but concerned neighbors. So that, a guy like this, if he comes up to the building and he's hastily running out and stuff like that, and people see it, hear it, or they hear commotion, they come to the aid of their neighbor. But, sadly, we're not living in those kind of times sometimes. So, or it depends on what kind of neighborhood you're in. And, Brooklyn's pretty rough. Brooklyn's very rough. And like I said, we were saying before, you got Brooklyn, Roosevelt, Hempstead, Wyandanch. I mean, the Bronx is crazy. Manhattan is crazy. Queens is off the hook. You got places that are just out there. Staten Island, everywhere. Just send an MX missile and sink that place. I mean, it's just.
Oh wow! To all our listeners in Staten Island, I apologize.
Oh man. But what's so funny? And I say that with a loving joke because when it comes to the Bronx, remember, what was it? Remember in the Bronx, we have Spofford. They say that place was like a mini Rikers Island. Spofford was a place where they would send really, children with who obviously didn't get the proper guidance. They turned, unfortunately, to either the life of crime or they were mentally unstable. So this is in the Boogie Down Bronx. I think it was like near the Hunts Point section, if memory serves, and everything in the Bronx. I mean, the Bronx. Hey, I'm a native Bronx person. I'm living in Mount Vernon, and Mount Vernon got issues that are off the hook. But the Bronx itself, you could send sometimes a little MX missile over there to handle some of them problems too. I ain't gonna ever say it one person. I ain't never gonna say it on one borough or city if I'm not going to say it on my own. And I say it in jest. We're just talking about people again getting more involved. If people got involved with their children and people got involved in their neighborhoods, I can almost guarantee to you that crime would go down. If employment opportunities were brought back and in these communities and hired people in their communities and you stop this regentrification, we know the problems would go away. So sometimes it's just a little more than just blaming the people. There's other agents at work here. But in this situation, the woman, she fought back admirably. She did what she could do to get him off of her. And I really hope for her physical health, I hope that this, that this gentleman didn't, leave any type of evil that could affect her body more than what he's already done. And of course, if he is caught, to me, in these cases, when you have positive identification, positive DNA, to me, the very standard of the sentencing should be life. The very standard should be life. There's no way you can cure any individual, man or woman, when they want to assault somebody sexually that kind of way, and no consent was given. Be physicist?
Yes. So, yeah, that's like a good analysis of this situation. What I wanted to ask you, Sensei Buddha, is,
Yes.
that's, of course, we all know, hey, lock your doors. Come on, people, lock your doors, whatever. But at the end of the day, I suspect it could be a discipline problem with a lot of people. So how do you get yourself to remember to lock your doors? I mean, you were saying door open, door closed. What was your? You had like a kind of a singing kind of a device to remember.
Yeah.
Every time you approach your door.
Yeah, I use a mnemonic device for myself. And the reason why I can use this device is because I have, sadly, 2 references of me being in that situation. And the mnemonic device I use is open door, close, lock door. Open door, close, lock door. And I hope for other people that they don't need to have an experience of somebody just bursting into through your door because it was unlocked. But I had it happen to me not once, but twice. And when I had clients that I was training with, that in itself was a no-no, because when people walk in to my place and I'm training my clients there, the shades are down. Nobody knows. They just think, oh, hey, there's just a bunch of people going in there to visit. So then when they open up the door, they will see us in our martial arts uniforms, or they see us training, doing weapons defense or something like that. Now people say, oh, that's what those people in there were doing. This is what was going on. Hey, if my door was locked, they can hear all that noise and just try to make the best educated guess they can make, a hypothesis. But they don't get to see us how we get down. Another reason why I think anybody would do something like this, but we were talking about this from before, you could have a situation where how many times any of us have forgotten our cell phone in a friend's car? How many of us have forgotten our keys? I've had this happen to me in my life like 2 to 3 times, maybe even 4, where I went out the door and I had my keys in the apartment. And then I had to, call the landlord to come and open up and, do an emergency opening to gain access to the apartment. And this happens, of course, when you're going to school, when you're going to work, or hell, you're just going around the corner store to get yourself a cup of coffee. These things just happen. You just got to be cognizant of it as best as you can. But most definitely when you're coming home, I have a thing, because of the simple fact of my 2 experiences of people bursting in on me. I say, open door, close, lock door. Open door, close, lock door. And I lock all the locks. And then, of course, I do a quick walkthrough of my apartment every time. Because remember, when people attack you, they're going to get you when you're most comfortable. It could happen when you're most comfortable, or you're going home on the train or the bus, or you're driving in traffic. You had a nice, hard day at work, and you're just looking forward to coming home, spending time with loved ones, and that's when the attack can happen. It's very sad. It's not trying to make you paranoid, but you have to have your wits about you. You got to keep your wits about you. You got to have little certain rules for yourself to make sure you lock things behind you, take things with you. Simple as that.
All right, that's. I think that about sums it up. We are here at Hindsight, trying to get you these stories, and then at the end of it, or during it, give you some practical advice, some practical tips that can help out. Again, like Mr. Suave said, this is for entertainment purposes, and these are our views, yada yada yada. But yeah, great advice. Suave, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just real quick. Just on a gag note to Sensei Buddha. Yes, we all have locked our phones and friends and places. We forgot it, but we do wish, Sensei Buddha ain't the most tech savvy brother, and I think he still has a flip phone. So we just, we wish his phone would have stayed lost, so we could have got him a better one. That's all.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Man, y'all voted me off because of my whack phone. That's all right, though.
It's a work in progress, baby.
It's all good.
All right. Well, indeed. Well, folks, yeah. Thanks for rocking with us on this episode of Hindsight. Like I said, we've got a website now, hindsight.com. We've got Twitter at Hindsight. We're on Instagram, aka IG, aka the Gram. So the_Hynde_site. You could email us. Email Sensei Buddha directly. Buddha@hindsight.com. There'll be, more content added to the website, YouTube channel, and all that weekly. We got demonstrations and all that good stuff. So stay tuned.
Peace.
Peace, y'all. Peace.